Could a Killing Floor 2 Fleshpound defeat a Black Ops 2 Panzer? That is what I'm going to be looking at today. This is a very interesting question, and I think if the two of them went head to head, it would be a very close match. Now, obviously, if it came down to numbers, if there were multiple Fleshpounds in one Panzer, the Fleshpounds would overwhelm the Panzer, or if there were multiple Panzers in one Fleshpound, the Panzer would overwhelm the Fleshpound. But just going down 1v1, this would definitely be a very, very close match. I think to start out, I think a Fleshpound is stronger than a Panzer and is more intelligent than a Panzer. But that being said, obviously a Panzer is wearing a very heavy suit of armor with only one real weak point. But here's the thing: the Fleshpound was designed specifically to just be a brute juggernaut, to just kill as quickly and efficiently as possible by whatever means necessary. Meanwhile, the Panzer was originally not designed for combat. It was designed for the purposes of mining. So I think, like, strategically, the Fleshpound would have an advantage simply because it was designed to kill. Like, that was it. That is literally the purpose of the Fleshpound. And meanwhile, the Panzer, yes, it can kill and it can be very dangerous. That's not what it was originally intended for. So I think just looking at it from that standpoint, the Fleshpound would have a bit of an advantage. So I think, like, I think what would very likely happen would be, like, the Fleshpound would just charge the Panzer, and just start swinging. More than likely, it wouldn't and just automatically think to hit for the glass. You mean maybe it could just hit the Panzer with enough brute force, maybe slam it against a wall or something, that could jolt, the zombie's, like, skeletal structure or something, maybe weaken it a little bit. But on the other hand, the Panzer can fend off the Fleshpound from a distance because the Fleshpound has no ranged attacks, but the Panzer does have its claw and its flamethrower. Although I think the claw wouldn't be of much use. I mean, maybe it could kind of sort of slow down the Fleshpound, but I think ultimately a Fleshpound's its full massive body, just bulk and weight and just pure muscle versus, like, the one Panzer claw. All the claw would really do would maybe slow it down a little bit. I mean, very likely the Fleshpound might just break the claw off. So then it would really just come down to the Panzer and its flamethrower. But I think if the Fleshpound did think to hit the Panzer in the glass, if it just happened to instinctively go for the head, I think it would be over pretty quickly in the Fleshpound's favor. But if it didn't think to go for the head, if it didn't think to hit the glass, and it just kept pounding away, I mean, maybe over the course of a few seconds, or maybe like 10 to 15 seconds, maybe the Panzer could just burn it enough and kind of grapple it enough to kill the Fleshpound. But you got to keep in mind, the Fleshpound can kind of enter a rage mode where it's faster. And I think speed-wise, a Fleshpound is way faster than a Panzer any day. I mean, you can, like, on Black Ops 2, you can kind of outrun a Panzer. You cannot outrun a Fleshpound on Killing Floor 2. You just can't outrun it. I mean, they will be right on your tail. So I think as far as, like, just speed, skill, brute strength, and design, the Fleshpound would very likely win over a Panzer. I think the only real advantages that the Panzer would have would be its armor and its ranged attacks. This fight could really go either way, to be 100% honest, but I think more than likely the Fleshpound would come on top in a 1v1 brawl. Again, it could go any way, but that's just my thoughts. Ultimately, I think the Fleshpound would ultimately, the majority of the time, be triumphant over a Black Ops 2 Panzer. Well, that's all I have to say for today. I would really like to know your thoughts on this video. I kind of just had the idea to make this real quick. For those who are new to my channel, I mostly discuss and review zombie and horror games, so if that sounds interesting, maybe check out some of my other videos. Thank you so much for watching. Always remember that Jesus loves you very much. Peace.